What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and we have a brand new Hero of the Month for November 2022. It is MORAX. So is MORAX going to continue the trend of underwhelming Heroes of the Month, or is he actually kind of good? Let's break him down and give him a grade. But first, download Gemstone Legends, a mobile RPG puzzle match game. Use the link in the description to start with free stuff, including a bonus hero. Alright, so MORAX is a 5-star purple hero of the Sorcerer class, which is kind of cool because there's not a whole lot of really excellent sorcerers out there. So you may have a lot of the emblems sitting around, and that automatically makes heroes that are even halfway decent better because, well, if you have the emblems for them, that increases the power of the heroes quite a lot. Of course, it's going to be part of the Legends 2022 family. Not quite there yet, but there will be a perk there in the future, the passive skill. We also have a passive skill here, Mana on Health Boosting Special Skill. This character gains 5% mana each time an enemy casts a special skill that boosts health, which is really interesting considering what this hero's special is. So do not forget about this passive. However, I must say 5% is not like a ton, but it's something. Alright, there's another passive here as well, Resist Mana Generation Ailments. This character has innate resistance against status ailments and negative stacks that affect mana generation. Doesn't apply to status ailments that stop mana generation or steal mana. Alright, so MORAX has 764 attack, which is kind of a little underwhelming in today's day and age. It's not absolutely terrible. It's okay. It's fine. I guess I'll call it average. Same with the defense at 766 and 1431 HP. Certainly not the stats of the overpowered heroes they've been releasing in events that costs like 500 gems. That's a little bit of an exaggeration too, but you know what I mean. Also, the special, Scythe of Sorceries, is average speed. That doesn't have to matter too much if you have a mana troop to stick on this that's a high enough level, because you can make it functionally fast. Now again, just to define what I'm saying there, it's not technically fast, but because you reduce the tiles from 10 to 9, that does reduce it from 4 matches to 3 matches in most cases. Meaning you essentially make these average heroes functionally fast. Deals 400% damage to the target and minor damage to nearby enemies. Not a huge hit in this day and age, but it is to a target and nearby enemies. That's more than it had been in the past, so I'd say it's a little bit more powerful than the heroes of old, not quite as powerful as heroes typically today. The target gets negative 24% mana generation for 4 turns. Now that is a powerful skill. There are certainly heroes and effects where it's stronger in this game, but this is always a powerful skill. Reduces max health of the target's nearby enemies by 400. Max health can't get lower than 30% of the original max health. This is something that's relatively powerful too. However, one thing that can counteract this, of course, is boosted health. So people who have heroes of boosted health, if they ever see this one on defense, are going to bring the boosted health heroes to do the healing instead of like a regular healer, for example. Or you can kind of play around boosted healers. So if you see those on defense, well, you would just not take MORAX against a team like that. Elemental Link gives all dark allies immunity to new fiends for 4 turns. This effect cannot be dispelled. And that's kind of a cool elemental link for this particular hero, but not one that's going to come up and be useful all the time. Alright, so what do I think of this hero overall? First, what's he going to be used for? Is this a defensive hero? Nah, probably not. Could be. I mean, let's say you're in an alliance that's running purple tanks, and you don't have one of the top tier tanks, which is perfectly reasonable. There's a lot of great purple tanks out there, but for, you know, newer or intermediate players, maybe you haven't gotten those yet, and so MORAX, I think, could actually suffice as a tank for a little while, but is not anywhere near the top tier, maybe even the second highest tier of purple tanks. This is not really a tank hero, but I do think it can serve that purpose in a pinch. Like, I don't have a great purple tank myself. I've been fighting wars now for like years with purple tanks, and I've never gotten one of the good ones. And so MORAX is relatively intriguing for that, but MORAX is not typically a tank. You know, with that said though, since MORAX isn't a typical tank, there is flexibility to use MORAX at the flank as well. Like, now most alliances, I should say, are not running yellow tanks, and so that's what would make sense. Usually next to like yellow tank, but you know, on the off chance you're one of the alliances now that's running red tanks again, that seems to be a trend that comes and goes, but it's coming back, red tanks. Sure, use MORAX as a flank if you want to. Again, I don't think this is a great defensive hero, so for the top tier players out there, the whales, the ones that have loads of options, you're probably just not using MORAX on defense at all. How about on offense? Yeah, I do think maybe a little bit more for offense because you've heard me say it before, when you target only 3 heroes, but you don't get to be the one that chooses, like if it's the artificial intelligence, the AI, when it's on defense, sometimes, a lot of times, they only hit 2 heroes. But if you're the one taking MORAX on offense, you're like always hitting the 3 heroes unless you've already taken out the tank, in which case you're only going to hit 2 heroes. But still, you get to be a little more surgical with how you're using MORAX and getting a really good effect out of it. I actually think the special is pretty good. How about events, tournaments, things like that? I don't see a special purpose for MORAX in any of those things. So as you can tell in the way I'm talking about it, like, I think MORAX is a good hero, actually. But I don't think a top tier hero in really any circumstance. So you're probably going to have something better. That's unfortunate for MORAX, because I do really think that MORAX has a cool special. In fact, you know, on the one hand, MORAX reminds me a lot of Tedasheri, who I think is a good hero. But on the other hand, people are hating on MORAX because MORAX is like a poor man's Tedasheri. Like, Tedasheri is just straight up better, right? But I still think MORAX is good, and Tedasheri is really hard to get. So if you didn't get Tedasheri, like, you might be happy with MORAX. So I do think MORAX is a little underrated. I think people are gonna hate on this guy because it's like, again, Empires and Puzzles, what are you doing? Releasing the weakest heroes at the hero of the month. Like, you basically don't even get creative with the special and just kind of copy another hero and make it worse. Right? It's just lazy. But having said that, this is still the best hero of the month that we've seen in a while, I think. And I don't think it's a great hero, so I can't give a great grade. But I think it's a good hero, and if anybody happens to get MORAX and is lucky, I think that MORAX serves some purpose, especially when you get into wars where you get deep into your roster and things like that. So for that reason, I'm going to give MORAX a B. And personally, I would be happy with MORAX because I have not been chasing any heroes in this game. In fact, I haven't been spending since, oh my gosh, almost a year. When I got Krampus, and then they just went straight ahead and nerfed him, got the costume, and that wasn't even a hero deserving of a nerf. So I was like, you know what? I'm chasing no heroes. Just my opinion. You know, feel free to play the game the way you want to. I'm just playing for fun now. For funsies, so if I get MORAX, it's probably going to be free off of, you know, some kind of like token or something like that. And I just get lucky. But I would be happy if I got MORAX. Certainly MORAX is not going to be among my top tier of heroes, but I'd be happy. So that's what I think. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications so you know when I drop new videos or go live. And I will catch you in the next one.